rise. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
This girl started off so tender, so sweet, and now she got me smoking out the window.
We've been waiting for a long time. Yes, we've been waiting for a long, long time. We've been waiting for a long time. But we ain't gonna wait no more. We're getting ready to rock and roll. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4.
And we're back to Keep 1 Million. Show 'em Dwayne.
Sean B.
It is September 20th, 2023. Once again, we're on Thursday Night Football. It is the Lions and the Packers for the NFC North lead, and the Lions are up 27-3. Now, Jordan Love is their new quarterback, and he has this season so far. Let me look at the stats, but before the game, he had 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Packers are looking pretty good, but Detroit is looking like some real Lions over here against the Packers. And from the looks of it, Packers are most likely going to kick another field goal right now. Jordan Love is 12 for 20, 86 yards and an interception.
All right.
Looks like they haven't even done anything on offense. Aaron Jones, 4 carries for 15 yards. Romeo Dobbs, 5 receptions for 50 yards. He's the leading wide receiver. Yeah, they haven't even been on the field. The Lions, Jared Goff also 12 for 20 for 168, 1 touchdown and interception. Dave Montgomery, 15 carries for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, 3 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. And Sam Laporta, 4 catches for 56 yards. There's your offensive leaders for Detroit. Can Detroit win this NFC North division?
Yeah, I had them winning the NFC North because how they ended the season last year. The coach has them believing that they can make a big run in the playoffs, and they also want to play really hard for the coach. So you change the culture out there.
Yeah, and with how they played last season, they beat the Packers at the end of the season to get them out of the playoffs. Remember, that was Aaron Rodgers' last game with the Packers, was an interception to lose the game. And it was unbelievable when I looked at it, because it was like, this team was in the playoffs, 2-3 years in a row, NFC Championship game. The Packers were basically a Super Bowl contender with an MVP quarterback for the past 3-4 seasons, and they just crumbled right before our eyes against a team that basically no one really thought was going to go anywhere. Now the tables have turned, and now Detroit is looking like that team that can basically, I'm not going to say go deep into the playoffs, but at least get to the playoffs, win the division, maybe win a playoff game. I mean, how do we get to this point where Green Bay is now on the outside looking in?
It happens. Green Bay. I mean, during the Aaron Rodgers tenure there, they have been a playoff team, Super Bowl winning team. But this happens. I mean, I remember growing up, and I remember when they had, I think the kid's name, the man's name was Dominic Pearson, playing quarterback out there before Brett Favre got there. So I mean, teams go through this. So they're just going through some growing pains, and Detroit is coming up. Jared Goff is showing people that he can ball. He's showing people that he can play. So we shall see. It's still a long season, though.
Right.
We shall see.
Remember, he did go to Super Bowl with the Rams.
Yes, he did.
And they did lose, but people say that was Sean McVay's doing. And then he kind of proved it right with getting Matt Stafford there and winning the Super Bowl. But Goff kind of redeemed his career, thinking that's no man's land in Detroit, and he was just gonna like fizzle out, but he's came back. Had a great season last year. Let's see what happens this season. It's only the fourth game, but Detroit's looking like they're going to be in the driver's seat after this game. Most likely a game or a game and a half lead in the NFC North. But the big news of the week that just happened is not in the NFL, it's in the NBA.
Yes, it is.
As Damian Lillard gets traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. And if I'm not mistaken, I wish I got here earlier to do this, but I wanted to go back a few months and find audio, video of myself saying that the best place Damian Lillard should go to is Milwaukee. I think I did say that.
Yeah, you said that. You said it.
Right?
I remember.
And we was talking about trades and who trade for it. Matter of fact, it was the same time that Chris Middleton, was looking for a new contract. He ends up getting one.
Yeah.
Portis actually got the new contract as well. To keep them in tow. And I was right. Miami doesn't have the assets,
No, they didn't.
you know what I mean, for this trade. But if you look at the media, you look at, not just social media, but all these big media outlets, all of these, I call them fanboys when it comes to, if you notice, sports media has turned real tribal, where you have a whole group of people in the sports world, certain regions of the country, and they root for their team hard and heavy, and they push that. And the people that root in the media for Miami teams, they really thought it was already done. Like it happened already, that Dame was already in Miami Heat.
Yeah.
And I think it was Wojnarowski, and I remember, and Sean Marks, he's like that GM guy who's always talking about numbers. He was like, they both was like, this is not going to happen for a while. This may not happen until the middle of the season because Portland is not obligated to trade him to whatever team he wants.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not the James Harden situation. And then remember, the NBA stepped in because they was really behind the scenes telling other teams that don't even try. He's not going to play for you.
Yeah.
And they didn't get fined, but they almost did. You know what I mean? Damian Lillard and his agent. But it showed me that the tide was turning, and the owners and the GMs are trying to get power back. I talked about this, like I said, months ago. And as you see, it just happened. You have, Damian Lillard going to Milwaukee for Drew Holiday. DeAndre Ayton from the Suns goes to Portland with Drew Holiday. Tumani Cameron, 2029 unprotected first round draft pick, 2028 swap rights, and 2030 swap rights. The Suns get Yusef Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, Keon Johnson. I mean, really, the Suns got a pretty good haul for DeAndre Ayton going to Portland. And this propels Milwaukee to the top team as far as betting is concerned, as who's going to win the championship. How do you see this whole draft play out?
I knew he wasn't going to go to Miami. I knew that wasn't going to happen. Miami just didn't have the assets. There was rumors about Boston. They would have traded him for Jaylen Brown. That didn't work out because Jaylen Brown signed that big contract. It's not a huge contract, so it was like okay with that. And then I heard about Milwaukee. I was reading about it. Okay, and then when it happened, I'm like, man, it's gonna be him and Giannis and Middleton. And then they still, and Brook Lopez signed. Signed with them. So they still got a good squad out there. I'm just looking at their squad. I got them coming out the East.
Yeah.
The only team I can see competing with them, stopping them is Boston. I can see Boston doing it. But Milwaukee's dope. They got a dope squad, and Phoenix ain't. They not no slouches either. They came out on top of this, and Portland got what they wanted, and they have a young nucleus, and they want to just rebuild. Now they're not. They're looking to unload Drew Holiday, and a lot of people have been talking about Drew Holiday possibly going back to Philly. That's who drafted him years ago. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I see Drew Holiday
He's not gonna be there long.
going to another team. I'm not sure who. I know to go back to the Bucks, I think he has to be, on another team for like a year or a half a year season. But that is still a possibility as well.
There's a
Go back to
possibility
the Bucks.
because he has a year left on his contract. He'd be a free agent next year.
Right.
So he's more than likely, whoever he goes to, he's more than likely not going to resign. He's going to be playing for a contract again. He's going to.
Right, they'll waive him. Portland most likely going to waive him because they have
They probably will.
a lot of guards right now. They're looking to be really young. If you really look at their roster as it's constructed, really DeAndre Ayton is their veteran. And remember, Chauncey Billups coached Colorado. Ironically, he was the coach, so he knows how to coach young players.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he wanted to go. And the GM and the team really go young. The whole Damian Lillard situation, was drama for a few years, but I know they had no actual beef, but I think philosophically there was some issues there with the where they wanted the team to go, as versus Damian Lillard saying he wants be around veteran players and try to go for a championship, and then the whole GM and everyone else was like, well, we got to get younger, we got to reset this thing because it didn't happen for them. They went to the Western Conference Finals a few years ago.
Yeah, they got swept pretty bad too.
Right, and then they let go C.J. McCollum.
Yeah, that's when I saw it coming.
Right.
It started when they let C.J. go. I was like, okay, they're starting to clean house.
Right, exactly, and it was only a matter of time. I think the main reason why it didn't happen with Miami, not just didn't have enough assets, it was the fact that Portland's GM wanted to take his time. He even said it. It was like he wanted to actually do their due diligence, find the best, trade possible. Like they was gonna trade him, but it's like why do something that not just everybody wanted to happen, everyone thought to happen, but what Damian Lillard wanted was that he wanted to go to Miami. And it's like, well, why give Miami what they want? Why give Damian Lillard what he wants when he's under contract?
Mm-hmm.
I understand it.
Yeah, pretty much what it is well, we're going to try to send you to a contender. We're going to try to do, because you did good for us all these years. We're going to try to do good for you, but we're not going to sit here and be pigeonholed and be like, and have you say, oh, this is the only team I want to go to, make it work. No, it doesn't work that way. They're trying to get some fair assets for you. I mean, this dude's a top 5 player, top 10 player in the league. We want to get something for you, and they got something back. I mean, it's not equal to Dame Lillard, but they got something back, and he goes to a contender. I get it. It's not Miami. It's Milwaukee. But I will say this: if it's the lifestyle you're looking for, Chicago ain't that far. I know it's cold.
Yeah.
I know it's cold weather and everything, but Chicago's not that far.
And really, here's the thing: if it's not for injuries, Milwaukee's in the Eastern Conference Finals or the Finals for at least 3 years in a row.
Oh yeah. Giannis
They
got
won a
injured.
championship. Middleton gets injured. Giannis gets injured.
Mhm.
Hopefully, they're all 100%. Coming, training camps in a few weeks, coming with this new season. This is the better team by far. Remember, Miami was the 8th seed. They fought their way into the playoffs. They, won the play-in games, the 2 games they won.
Mhm.
The first 8th seed to get to the finals since the Knicks in 1999.
Yeah, I remember that. Mhm.
Right. So it's not like Miami was this world beater team that was just like, oh my God, they're gonna run through the East. They couldn't even run through the East. They couldn't even run through their own division.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking at it now, you have a team that is primed to win now. Also, Milwaukee mainly had to do this because Giannis was talking about leaving.
Yeah.
He wants to win so bad. He finally came out, was like, hey, I love this place, but if I can't win here, maybe I have to look elsewhere. And that's paraphrasing, but he did say something in that manner in the past, a couple weeks or so.
Yeah, he did.
And they had to make a move. But we're going to come back. We're going to go and talk about this on the other side and get into the Phoenix Suns and what it means for them without DeAndre Ayton. And so keep it locked right here. It's the Keep 1 Million show. Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, he said that. Like, I do like players like that because it ain't that long ago that he won a championship.
Yeah.
Like so
a couple years ago.
And he's like, no, I want to win again. I mean, he I like it. I love it.
It was 2021 against the Suns.
Yeah, I love it. I wish Embiid was like that. Like, yeah, you can
He's
ball.
trying to get his immigration status fixed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he said because he wants to play for the U.S. and
Is it either Cameroon, France, or the U.S.? And then I forget who said. I think France was like they better let him know by like the end of October.
Oh, you said he better let them know.
Yeah, I think they gave him all the minimum. I think France did.
Yeah, I heard
Because he played for France before. Yeah, I think he played for France in the last Olympics.
Oh, okay.
And we're back. Keep 1 Million show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
We're on 90.7 FM KRDP. And we're just talking about the massive trade that just happened. Damian Lillard goes to the Milwaukee Bucks in a 3-team trade. Now, I want to look at it in another angle, is the Phoenix Suns. We've known for 2 seasons that DeAndre Ayton's not the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what are they going to do? They matched his contract when he was a free agent. He could have went to Indiana.
Yeah.
So they matched that contract to keep him.
Yeah.
He had issues with Monty Williams. Monty Williams ended up leaving or getting let go. They have a new coach now. They say the main issues was because of DeAndre Ayton and his, lack of playing, focus of, whatever. And then you see it live against the Denver Nuggets. And it's like, well, if you're trying to be a top team and get back to the finals, you're going to get better down low. Like I said months ago, even during the season, people keep talking about point guards and guards. This is a center league. The top players in the NBA are centers. The past MVPs are centers, right?
Yeah.
Before that is forwards, and then you have Steph Curry sprinkled in there.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's Giannis, Embiid, and the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And the Suns is right there, and they made a whole bunch of moves to the point now the last player from the 2021 finals is Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's on that team. That team is wiped out. Brand new team. Now you have Nurkic in there,
Yeah.
who's injury prone as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's a problem, but he's a great defender.
Quality center.
Yeah, he's a quality. It's an upgrade, actually. People may not think that.
Yeah, but he stay healthy. Yeah.
Let's say he gives you 65 games.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a win.
60
That's a
yard game?
win.
All right.
Maybe 70. That's a win.
70 game, give you
Um,
what? Give you about what? 14 a game?
10 rebounds, a couple blocks.
Mm.
He defends the paint. He's not looking to score.
No.
You know what I mean? You have Beal, Booker, and KD to score.
Yeah. Got them.
You know what I mean? DeAndre Ayton's literally a defensive liability, especially in the playoffs. I mean, come on. The Joker was, I can't explain what he did to him.
Shoot, what Giannis did to him in the finals.
Right. But I can't, what Jokic did to DeAndre Ayton, if I'm a GM or an owner, I would have cut him. I would have let him go. Like, no, you got. I'll pay you to leave.
To DeAndre
It was that bad.
Ayton's defense, Joker was doing that to everybody. No, he was doing that to
No,
everybody.
there was a play, and people like honed in on this one play. He was out of bounds, out of the play, trying to act like he was defending, and Jokic literally grabbed like 3 rebounds in that segment against 3 different Sun players, and then did a putback. And DeAndre Ayton, I mean, it was so embarrassing. I mean, Suns fans was like, this is we gotta get rid of this guy. And these are the same people that were defending him years ago. Like, oh no, just give him time. He's so good.
Yeah.
All these
He's
numbers
better.
and analytic metrics that he's so good at. And wait, that doesn't show up on the court.
Yeah.
Analytics does not show up on the court.
What they
You
say-
need effort.
They say analytics gonna get you fired.
Oh, well, it got him shipped out of out of the Phoenix.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's going to be in Portland. That's a very young team. I think they're just going to be. I think they're going to pull. Like I said, they should pull Oklahoma City. Take a couple seasons, get a bunch of draft picks, and start fresh. Start from scratch.
Yeah, Oklahoma City, they front office is really good though.
Right.
They know how to
But
draft.
Sam Presti,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
know
he's
how to
one of the
draft.
best GMs.
They know how to
in the
draft.
league.
I mean,
Right.
people forget that he drafted KD, Westbrook, Harden, and Reggie Jackson. I mean, they know how to put a squad together through the draft.
Serge
and trade.
Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka. Through trades and draft. They know.
And then look what they got now. They basically got Team Canada and Team Australia on their team.
On their squad, yeah.
I mean, Canada beat United States, and half of those players play on Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? And then you have Giddy and the other guy, they both play for Team Australia.
Yeah.
So their GM is great. I think Portland is trying to get that way. And the Suns, their ownership, the new ownership, they made a huge splash with all these, with all these trades and moves they made in this offseason. I mean, they basically have done the biggest overhaul in the roster possibly ever. Think about it. Have any team from one season to the next changed this drastically? I don't know. I don't think so. And then you get top players on the other end. So in that sports book, the Suns are like 4th in the championship with the Bucks at number 1. So it possibly could be a rematch.
Possibly.
Suns Bucks.
Possibly. Denver has a lot to say about that.
Right. Oh yeah.
Denver, Memphis.
Oh, a lot of teams do.
Golden State.
Denver's right up there, and Denver's not no slouch either. But this trade is I want to see how it goes in this season. 27-11, Detroit over Green Bay in the end of the third quarter.
Okay. See, I think the trade might have let off the gas a little bit. They don't need to do that. They should keep pushing.
No, they got to. They have to. Yeah, they got to put the pedal to the metal. Now, last week's games in the NFL, we had the major, Miami Dolphins I mean, I don't know if I'm not sure if they're the best team in the league, but they're right there. I mean, 70 points against
70.
Denver.
Looked like a college game. One of one of those college games.
Calling those woodshed games.
Yeah, I was like, man.
And the woodshed means you go back in the back of the woodshed and get beat. An old school. Yeah,
Man.
I mean,
I thought people said I was wrong in thinking this way, but I was like, go for the field goal that day and get the record. Go get the record, man.
yeah,
I mean, it's already 70 points, but just go get the record.
right. And the thing is, the coach, Miami's coach, he's a I guess you could say a Denver alum. He was their ball boy when he was a kid.
Mm.
He comes from the area. The Broncos didn't even interview him, right? When he was, up for a head coaching job, and that's why he went to Miami. And remember, he was, offense coordinator from the San Francisco 49ers. And you know how that team is with their, how and people are, that's Shanahan, or right, and that's not him. But now you look at it, it's him, right? He is him. Like you say, I am him.
Yeah.
He's him. 70 points, Tua Tagovailoa, 23 for 26. You think about that. 309 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then Mike White scored a touchdown too, 2 for 2 for 67 yards. Like they took Tua out of the game. Mike White came in and still scored. Like that's
the guy that could have been with the Jets, right?
right. That's
if they would just gave him money.
oh my God, that's a whole nother segment. But that's video game numbers.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill went off. That one, but they had
No. Listen to this though. Devon Acne, who came out of nowhere. 18 carries for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert, 13 carries for 82 yards and 3 touchdowns. The running backs alone had 350 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, we've never seen this.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It was a pretty bad night for the Broncos. The only glimmer was when the dude ran that kickback, and by that time it was way over with. But yeah, it was pretty bad for them. And Miami is just scary. They didn't even have Waddle that game. They didn't even have Waddle.
Yeah, he comes back the next game.
Yes, I'm like, man, they are scary.
Right.
You're going to have to beat them. It's 2 things you're going to have to do, and I don't condone one of them. You're going to have to put 2 out. I don't condone that. And then you have to at least at least get 30 points. Get 30 points in the game, at least, to beat them. So it's scary. They're real scary. They're real scary.
Tyreek Hill had 9 catches for 157 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, amazing. And then the team they play against next week, the Bills, was no slouch either.
No, they got a real good defense, but
They beat Washington 37-3.
yeah, they got a real good defense, but they I don't know. I'm real interested in that game. I don't even know how to pick that game. I'm real interested in that game.
I'm interested because I have Josh Allen as my
You gonna take Buffalo?
fantasy quarterbacks.
I want to know how they going to defend that offense. I'm just curious because they have a really good defense. Matter of fact, it's so bad. I have Buffalo on my fantasy team, and they're only scheduled they only predicted to get 16 points in that game. And normally they're predicted to get like 30 points or something like that.
Okay.
So they're predicting that Miami's going to run shot over this defense. That's a really good defense. So
Right.
this is.
I'm going to
great.
pick some games right now.
All right. Yeah.
And 2 of the games are just going to be amazing. Well, 3. We have 3 amazing games. Blunder Bowl 23. Broncos, Bears, both 0-3. Who you got? Denver's at 3.5-point favorite, by the way,
Where they playing at?
in Chicago.
I don't know. I don't know.
Who you putting your money on? 0-0 tie in
Nah.
overtime.
You know, if I had to bet, I say Denver.
Yeah, it's hard because I'm thinking the home cooking, but the home cooking's not good.
Mhm.
They're not. I don't know. They're not getting those. They're not getting that mild sauce. They need to go to West Side and get that mild sauce or something. I don't know what's going on with the Bears. Maybe the whole team need to go to Harold's and get that mild sauce or something and get rejuvenated. But
Get cussed out.
right, something. Someone need to cuss them out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go to the Wild Hundreds and get something. Because if the Broncos go into Soldier Field and beat them, I got to go with the Bears just off that.
Okay.
They have to
All right.
win that game at home. Somebody give them a bucket of Harold's chicken, please. Somebody do something. The second game, both 2-1 teams. Browns at home against the Ravens. Cleveland 3-point favorite.
Cleveland.
Mm.
Cleveland because they're at home. Hard place to play. Cleveland.
You know what? I gotta go Cleveland too. Their defense is nasty.
And they're gonna be they mad about that Pittsburgh game. That's a game they should have won.
Right.
It was the one that Nick Chubb got hurt.
Yeah. And then I got. Hold on. Where is it? Bills Dolphins. Bills at home. Buffalo 2.5-point favorites.
That offense is so lethal.
Yeah, that's a tough game. That's a tough game.
I'm gonna go with Miami.
I might have to go with Miami too.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, but Buffalo's at home.
They're not. I'm gonna go with Miami.
Got two
I'm gonna say
home
they gonna
teams I'm
beat
going
'em.
for, so I might have to go with Dolphins at the away team in there. But yeah, Tyreek Hill, man.
They have track speed. They got to
Yeah.
do down there track speed.
And we got a Blunder Bowl part 2 as well.
Okay.
Panthers, Vikings, both 0-3.
Where they playing?
Minnesota's a 4-point favorite.
They playing in
Panthers at
Minnesota?
home.
They're playing in Minnesota.
No, playing in Carolina.
Carolina.
Panthers at home.
We'll take the Panthers.
I'm gonna have to go with the Vikings there.
Okay.
It's a better team, more veteran team. I think they finally. I mean, what was it? They had 11 games that they won by 3 points or less last season.
Mm-hmm.
This 0-3 start, they lost by 3 points or less. I think they win by 3 points or less. I
Okay.
think they win by that. You know, by
Okay.
that. They cover. What do they say? Cover the spread.
Yeah, cover spread.
They cover. Okay, this last game, I was going to go Sunday Night Football, man, but no. Last game is basically for the NFC South lead. Saints at home versus the Buccaneers. New Orleans is a 3.5-point favorite.
I'm gonna go with New Orleans. I'm gonna go with New Orleans.
Remember, just to let you know, I don't think Derek Carr is playing. He has a sprained shoulder, AC joint. Remember, he fell on his AC joint.
Yeah, you're right.
So it may be Jameis Winston.
They playing in New Orleans.
Yes.
I'm gonna
I may have to go with New Orleans. Just the fact that if Jameis plays, he goes against his old team.
Yeah.
I think he beat them last season.
Yeah. Jameis Winston, he's solid backup, so I'll still go with New Orleans.
Yeah. And we're going to go to break, but right before we go to break, I just want to say this with the Jets. Now, the Jets, when it comes to Zach Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about they're going to stay with him. They brought in the quarterback.
Yeah.
there's the whole Colin Kaepernick situation where he was begging them, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
that was a bad move.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
And it was like
that
J.
look-
Cole came out and said that he, showed everyone the letter.
I ain't like that look. I ain't like that look at all. That was not a good look for Cat.
Right. And what I want to ask before we're going to go to break and come back, but what I want to ask is, you mentioned Mike White.
Mm-hmm.
How bad of a decision that was to let him go?
It was a real bad decision. Real
It's
bad.
a horrible decision because most teams bring in 3 quarterbacks,
Yeah.
right? You got one on the practice squad, and then 2. They do all that finagling to bring in Aaron Rodgers, but then they was like, we're just gonna have Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson. That's it. They're like, wait, we gotta be another quarterback. At least have another quarterback. Like, that's strange to me. But we'll come back. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna get into some college football and Alvarez versus Charlo. So keep it locked right here. It's the Keep 1 Million show.
Yes, sir. Now, I get that Aaron Rodgers had that large contract and everything, but they could have did some finagling and just kept Mike White. I mean,
Yeah.
he showed you what he can do. Zach Wilson showed you who he was. You want to keep Zach? I guess they gotta keep him because they still own bonus money or whatever. And I was like, yo, just keep Mike White. You just never know, man.
And Mike White was actually a better quarterback
He was
than
better.
Zach Wilson. That's what I don't understand.
They would not be in this situation right now. They would have just held on to that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Zach Wilson was fucking the GM's wife or something. We find out. He liked them old school bitches. And we're back. E1 Million. So I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
We're on 90.7 FM KRDP. Go on the website, listen to number 2, krdp.com, for a lot more information and a lot more content with a bunch of different shows and music. Talking about the New York Jets. Joe Namath on the Michael Kay show in ESPN New York, he just went off.
Oh, he did.
The Jet great, said that everyone needs to go. Basically, he said that the GM, the coaches, the quarterback, everybody, and to start scratch again. There's been a lot of controversy with Joe Namath, so people really take what he says with a grain of salt. But the New York media is foaming at the mouth when it comes to the Jets. And yeah, it's very unfortunate Aaron Rodgers gets injured, but at the same time, you don't have a viable backup. Mike White beat out Zach Wilson fair and square last season, and for some reason they put Zach Wilson back in, and then they lost. So you're wondering what's really going on. Are you trying to actually win games or not? You let go Mike White because he wanted more money, rightfully so. You have Zach Wilson under contract. You could have let him go and kept Mike White, or somehow, some way, kept both of them, bringing in a 39-year-old player. I mean, what do you think happened with the Jets? Like, from the offseason to now?
They just made some bad decisions. They said just bad decision makers. It's just, I know it would have been hard, and I'm not a GM. I don't know their cap situation, but they could have did some finagling to keep Mike White there. Because if they still had Mike White, they wouldn't be going through this right now. And so it's like, man, I mean, they always say, you know, hope for the best but plan for the worst. You know, and they didn't do that.
And it's gonna get worse because they play the Chiefs next.
The Chiefs might hang a 70 piece on. Actually, no, the Jets they got a really good defense.
That's the thing. They have a good defense.
They got good everything except quarterback. Yeah, the team's good.
No, that's right. They do have a good overall team. But the quarterback can't get the ball to anybody.
Yeah.
They can't score any points.
And this ain't back in the day where you could hide your quarterback. You know, you have a real stout running game, real good defense. This ain't the 2000 Ravens. You know what I mean? This ain't back then.
But here's what's worse. They have Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, and they're not getting them the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not getting them the ball. I'm going to show you some stats here. They lose to the Patriots 15-10, right? I think Breece Hall was on Twitter talking, you know, crap, and a lot of the running backs were upset. Okay, 4 players rushed the ball. 4 players did, including Zach Wilson. Combined 22 carries for 38 yards and 1 touchdown. Breece Hall had 12 carries for 18 yards. Dalvin Cook had 8 carries for 18 yards. Whoever Nick Bolden is, he had 1 carry, 1 yard for 1 touchdown. But obviously, he was on the 1 yard line. Zach Wilson was 18 for 36 for 157 yards and no touchdown. Why is he throwing the ball 36 times and they're rushing the ball 22 times?
I don't know.
That's coaching. That's not the players. You went. You didn't even have to trade. Forget Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, they picked him up on weight.
Breece Hall was injured. He comes back. He's a top 10, 15 running back.
Yeah, he is.
So you have 2 top 10 running backs on your roster. Dalvin Cook was the rushing leader, 2 years ago? Last year?
No, not last year.
Or
like
2 years ago. Right, but
he was good last year, too.
he was basically the reason why the Vikings are where they are last season. I mean, Pro Bowler, and you only give him 8 carries.
Yeah. You're right. Coaching.
You only give someone like that 8 carries. I'm flabbergasted because it's like you said, a quarterback like him, you need to hide the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And how do you hide the quarterback?
Run game.
Exactly.
Run
Oh,
game.
now if the offensive line is terrible, which we know the offensive line is not that great, maybe that's the problem. The offensive line is not that great on pass protection and run protection. It's usually either or. It's not both. It's usually, they're great run protection, but horrible pass protection, or vice versa. So you're saying their offensive line sucks at both pass protection and run protection, and you have 2 of the top running backs in the game on your roster starting. That's just horrible coaching. So
Yeah.
I think Joe Namath is right. Looking back, Joe Namath is correct.
I don't know if they need to get rid of everybody.
I know one thing: Robert Sala's got to be on the hot seat,
Yeah, he is.
or he needs to throw one of those offensive or defense coordinators under the bus, namely the offense coordinator. 'Cause that's what happens when it gets that bad. What the coordinators go, and then maybe the season after that, the coach goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, we got to move on to college football.
Let's go.
obviously were on Colorado watch. And
Yeah.
they got drugged by Oregon 42-6, which most, if not all, real football fans knew that was going to happen. The whole, chippiness before and after the games or whatever, that is what it is. I think the main problem was social media just go overboard because you have more non-football fans that are going for Deion Sanders in Colorado now, and you have these content creators that are just on the bandwagon,
Mm-hmm.
and they're it's racist and all this. It's football.
Nah, it's not racist.
It's football, right?
Yeah.
What did you think about all this drama?
I thought it was nonsense. The coach for Oregon didn't do anything wrong. He was trying to coaches pump their team up. He said, we're not here for clicks, we're here for wins. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Now, I didn't like how Ryan Clark kind of went at him. He was like, hey, bro, you saying it's not for clicks for wins, you did it for clicks. No, Ryan, he did it to get his team hyped up. Now, I do understand that he pulled the cameras in, and the cameras come in. He did do that and everything. I get that, but I don't believe he did it for clicks, though. I believe he did it to hype his team up. I believe he did it to show the nation that they meant business. So I believe that he did nothing wrong. He was being a coach. He was hyping his team up, and he went out there and he showed you, like, look, we're the better team. This is who you rooting for, and we blowing them out. We blowing them out. Now I will say this, that in about 2 seasons, like Deion said, you better get me now. I do know this, that I have Deion Sanders, and this is his first season. So in his fourth or fifth season, he's going to be in the college football playoffs. I will say that. But right now, he's going to get beat by USC the same way, maybe even worse. So,
and the thing is, Deion Sanders, a Hall of Fame football player, one of the best players that ever.
Everybody is arguably the greatest football player ever. Arguably.
Top 5. The thing is, he knows that they're behind. They're years behind. He knows that. He keeps saying we need about 7 or 8 more players.
Yeah, on the defensive line, offensive line. Yeah.
That's a lot of players that they need. They got 80-something players, transfer portal, everything, whatever. This team hasn't, like I said last week, this team hasn't played. They only played in 6 months. They've been together for 6 months. Oregon's been together for years. Dix, who's their quarterback, he's been there longer than Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert has been in the league in the NFL for 2 years. Three. Like, think about that. How old was Bo Nix, who plays for Oregon, who transferred from Auburn? He's been there like 7 years in college football. So you're saying someone like him and those juniors and seniors on Oregon is going to get beat by a brand new team in Colorado?
No, they're not.
And moving forward to USC, I see the only way Colorado can beat USC, they have to exploit their defense because USC's defense is damn near just as bad as Colorado's.
Oh, so you think
They don't have a good... Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12 shootouts like they had against TCU.
Okay, so you saying it's
But the thing, because it's Caleb Williams, it's Shadur Sanders. I don't think Travis Hunter is playing, but he's been begging to play. And the thing is, they both have bad defenses.
Okay.
So, and I think it's the same issue with both. They don't have enough, good top players, right? USC, the reason why they didn't get to where they want to go is because of their defense last season. This season, they are a top 5 team. You know what I mean? So, excuse me. Going back, I still think USC is going to win that game, but it's going to be closer than what people think.
Okay.
It'll be a lot closer.
Right.
They're the eighth. They're 8th ranked. USC, Colorado's not ranked anymore. They're 3-1. USC's 4-0. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot closer than what people think. Matter of fact, it may be so close that USC may go down a notch. They're 8th ranked. They may go down, to 10 because other teams may leapfrog them. You know what I mean? Because they blow other teams out or whatnot. But that could happen.
So you thinking like something like 45-40, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It could be like I said, like the TCU game. And if it's that close, then maybe Colorado has a chance. But they have to clean up a lot of things on the defensive end. And Travis Hunter, who is their best player, is not going to be there. But before we go, we'll go to a quick. Talked about this last few weeks with boxing, with Alvarez versus Charlo. And Charlo's brother has been called out by Caleb Plant. They did have some issues behind the scenes. You said something interesting about the Charlo brothers. I want you to talk about that.
Oh, they just they take everything out of context, and then they bring the bravado into it. Like a few years ago, I cannot remember which Charlo brother it was, but he fought a fighter out of Philly named J Rock, and J Rock is known to be a humble, extremely humble fighter. Yeah. And if I can remember the story correctly, they asked J Rock a question about the Charlo brothers, and he was breaking their fight styles down, and nothing disrespectful. He was just breaking it down, and they took offense to how he broke their fight styles down.
Wow.
So the one Charlo brother, at the end of the fight, he beat J Rock TKO. J Rock gets up, how you get up, shake hands, you the better man, boom, boom. And the one Charlo brother, they just screamed at him and everything. Was like, whoa, what's that about? He said, I just want to let him know that, I'm a good boxer, just because he's from Philly, I know Philly got great boxers and everything, but we got great boxers too. And you just like, yo, man, it's not that serious, man. It's not that serious. And so a lot of times they just, that's how they carry themselves. And so it doesn't surprise me that him and Plant got into something, and the dude, you told me that the guy Plant punched him in the face, and then they started fighting. That doesn't surprise me. It's just, to me, you just gotta be professional. Like, I look at it like this. Have you ever heard of Mayweather or Mosley or Alvarez or any of these other top fighters getting into? I mean, I know other fighters have done it, but just getting into scuffles like that. No, you gotta be professional. You just gotta be professional.
Right. Yeah,
Come
that was
on,
at the Devin Haney fight behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Plant and
But both Plant and Charlo have to be more professional.
right. The thing is, and Plant called him out. Was like, hey, let's do this in the ring. He said let's rumble. He said he wants to rumble. That's exactly what he said. In the ring, and I think it'd be a good fight.
Okay.
I think it would be. Now going to the other Charlo brother who's facing Canelo Alvarez. Like I said, I think he can beat Canelo Alvarez. I think Alvarez, I won't say he's old, but he's I think his time is up. Sometimes boxers, their time is up and this happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I'm getting where we got to go to the next hour. So we're going to come back. We're going to talk about that more in length in the second hour and everything else. So keep it locked right here. It's the Keep 1 Million show.
Online at our website, Listen, the number 2, KRDP.com. KRDP features a mix of jazz, blues, R&B, soul, and eclectic programming from the Valley community, Arizona, and around the world. We encourage you to financially support KRDP with a sustaining monthly donation. You can donate right now at our website by going to listen, the number 2, KRDP.com, and click on donate. Your financial support is graciously appreciated.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Tom Colson with you. Join me for Full Moon Hacksaw Jazz and Blues.
Lively and fun. Hacksaw Jazz.
Yet mellow, deep, and grooving. Vintage tracks by the masters. Other rarities from our large record and CD collection. The new releases by today's artists. Sunday afternoons, 2 to 4 p.m. on KRDP Jazz, 90.7 FM. Full Moon Hacksaw, Jazz and Blues.
Broadcasting from the Phoenix Center for the Arts, you're tuned to KRDP Jazz and Indie, where the Valley comes to talk, sing, connect. KRDP, Apache Junction, Goldfield Ghost Town, Phoenix, 90.7 FM in the East Valley, and online at Listen, the number 2, KRDP.com, a service of Desert Soul Media.
Views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Desert Soul Media and its board of directors. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Keep It 1 Million show. Today's talks are going to start with Dame Dollar going to Milwaukee, sending Drew Holiday to Portland, as well as DeAndre Ayton and some other players. Deion Sanders took a huge L to Oregon. The Dolphins put a 70-piece on the Denver Broncos. Today I kicked the field goal. We're going to talk about that. Alvarez versus Charlo this Saturday. Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers tonight on Thursday Night Football. NFL scores and breakdowns, as well as college football and some breakdowns with that. We're also going to talk about Breonna Stewart winning the WNBA Most Valuable Player over Asia Wilson, who won Defensive Player of the Year. Is there some beef there? A little David Robinson and Hakeem Olajuwon? We're going to talk about that and much more on the Keep It 1 Million show.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Cool. Oh, did you replace your PSAs with?
Oh, right here, right?
Yeah, just
How do I
click
do
right
it now?
there.
Just delete it,
Well, put your music in first, and then
but insert track.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm having them change their clock a little bit.
Right here.
Yeah. So, because
Go where to insert files.
yeah, because I
Okay.
I realized that we don't have to have a pre-recorded break in their show. We can just, when we get to the point where they have sponsors, we can just have the sponsors pay them to do the read. That'll probably be more valuable to them anyway.
Hold on, I don't know what I want.
That's fine. Pick what you want and then just
Yeah,
delete those.
delete those. Alright.
Calvin said you two should become sales agents so that you can sell your show to sponsors.
Yeah, hey, help us. We want to do that,
Oh,
definitely.
So did we
Yeah.
not? Oh, okay. So we need to work on that. Okay.
Right. We need some money right now. Seriously, I'm broke. Seriously.
I gotta the place that my wife get her hair done. I just gotta walk them through it, but like they
Right.
don't have a single They don't have they have a bad single over there, so I gotta print out the forms and stuff and then walk it through.
Ask Carson, look, give you some forms.
Yeah, no, he emailed them to me. I just gotta the next time I dig over there, I'm gonna go walk
If you need
through
a printer, man, you can come here and print them out, or go to the library.
Oh no, we gotta print out the crib.
Oh.
Well, I could print it out at work.
That really this song is that damn long. I didn't realize this song was 6 minutes. Oh, we gonna I don't know, this fucking song is damn long.
We've been waiting for a long time. Yes, we've been waiting for a long, long time. We've been waiting for a long time. But we ain't gonna wait no more. We're getting ready to rock and roll. We're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Well, there's a reason everybody.
Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
It is September 28th, 2023. We're live talking about Thursday Night Football, Lions, Packers, and NFL, and everything in between. The Lions are beating the Packers. Let me check the score here. It was 27-11 when I last seen it.
34-17.
Oh, 34-17. 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Lions are up. And I don't want to say this is shocking, but we're not used to the Lions beating the Packers like this. Jared Goff, 18 for 27, 25 yards, touchdown interception. David Montgomery is balling, 28 carries for 98 yards and 3 touchdowns. Josh Reynolds, 3 catches for 69 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 catches for 51 yards and a touchdown. For Green Bay, Jordan Love, 22 for 34, 234 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Aaron Jones, 5 carries for 18 yards. And Romeo Doubs, 8 catches for 83 yards, no touchdowns. Christian Watson, 2 catches for 25 yards and a touchdown. So it seems to me like, their offense wasn't really getting off the Green Bay Packers, and and it looks like Detroit looks like their offense is clicking. I mean, are they primed to win the NFC North right now?
Yes. I had them win the NFC North
before we started.
Before the start of the season, I believe they, because in the NFC North is the Chicago Bears. We know they're not going to win it. It's the Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings, and Detroit is about to be 3-1, and the Bears are 0-3. The Vikings are 1-2. They're the best team in that division. They're gonna win that division. They're gonna go to the playoffs. I'm not saying they're gonna win the Super Bowl or anything like that, but they're gonna make some noise. Definitely make some noise. Jared Goff is not a bum. Jared Goff is a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
They have a good team.
Remember their coach was talking about biting knees and all that, and saying all this crazy stuff, but it worked. They're playing for him. They're playing hard. If you see at the end of last season when they beat Green Bay to get Green Bay out of the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers' last game with Green Bay was his last play was an interception to lose the game. You know, Detroit was on like a winning streak, and they were hot. Everyone's like, "Whoa, Detroit may be that team coming into this season." They're like, "Man, Detroit." Everyone's talking about Detroit. Winning the division, going to the playoffs, and they're proving everyone right.
Yeah,
they're going to be 3-1 after this. Green Bay's going to be 2-2, and they're primed to take that division, and possibly take that division for years to come, because I'm not sure if Jordan Love is going to be their franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Green Bay, everyone's saying, "Oh, he's doing good" and everything like that, but when it comes to the Packers, they pride themselves on winning that division.
Yeah.
They pride themselves on beating those teams, and that's one of those divisions where, they hate each other.
Yeah.
And before it was the NFC Central, the black and blue division back in the day.
Yeah, I remember
that. And if you watch those footage from back in the 80s and 90s, I mean, it was hard hitting.
Yeah. Warren Sapp, Brett Favre, they used to jaw at each other.
Right. Exactly. And you're right. Tampa Bay was in that division. The thing is, this division of 4 teams, the original teams, they can't stand each other. And before, years ago, it was just Green Bay and Minnesota, right? Yeah. Detroit was a terrible team, terrible ownership, terrible GM. The Bears was up and down all the time. Either they're good, they're bad, or whatever. Sometimes they're good. Now they've been bad for so long, people are basically used to it. So it was basically Green Bay's division to lose. In the past 3-4 seasons, they've been the Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Losing to San Francisco.
Yeah, NFC.
Right, NFC Championship games, and you have Aaron Rodgers with multiple MVPs. And now you look at it, now it's a team that you do not expect. The team that went 0-16 not too long ago.
Yeah, they did.
The Detroit Lions are now poised to win that division. I mean, that's kind of wild. I think last season was Minnesota. With Kirk Cousins. And, now fast forward to today, Kirk Cousins is rumored to be traded. They're 0-3. It's kind of weird how it's going on with the NFC North.
Traded to who? The Jets?
I'm not sure. I think it's just rumors. But let's say if they lose again, especially if they lose to the who do they play? If they lose to the Panthers, yeah. They're looking to make some moves. They got to look to make some moves. On 4, that means their season is over.
Oh, you know what? The Jets might not be able to afford that. They might not be able to afford that. But they still got Aaron Rodgers.
Kirk Cousins get paid. Yeah, exactly.
They got Aaron Rodgers in the contract. So I'm like, they're not
exactly. Look, 34-20. Packers are trying to come back. There's 2 minutes left. 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But the Packers they got the ball, so they could, if they score again.
I believe Detroit let up. I don't think they should have ever let up. I thought they should have kept going. They let up all.
Yeah, they did. They really let up right now. Gonna look at some scores last week, and Miami put 70 points on the Broncos.
Yeah, that was
Like, what
man. That was old
is going on with the Broncos?
college football. That was old college football. Like, you know, those first,
Woodshed.
those first games.
First
of the
two
season?
games, right?
Sheesh.
Right.
That was bad.
That was like Florida State versus Appalachian State. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I just was like bewildered by that one. I was like, man, these dudes are getting beat up. I was like, go for the record, kick the field goal, go for the record, just go,
Yeah,
just
right.
do it.
And my question is, it seemed like it was personal because Miami's coach is from the Denver area. He was with the Broncos organization as a kid. He's a ball boy, and was with them. Ends up, in the coaching tree, going to San Francisco, working his way up, offense coordinator. Now he's the head coach at Miami, and Denver didn't even give him an interview. So I think that was kind of personal. They didn't go for the record. What's the record? 72 points.
Yeah.
They could have broke it with a field goal, 73. Maybe that was just him saying, "Hey, I'm gonna the white flag. I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna do it like that." But still, do you think it was personal?
Actually, I don't.
No.
I just believe that Denver is just that bad of a team, and
Ooh, really?
and they got a squad. Miami got a squad. I mean, if it was personal like that, he would have kept Tua in. He didn't keep Tua in. He pulled the starters out. He pulled them out. They playing the backups.
And Mike White still scored a touchdown, 2 for 2, and he threw a touchdown pass.
Yeah, I mean,
Tua, 23 for 26, 309 yards and 4 touchdowns. Rushing the ball, Devon Ackney, who I didn't never heard till this game, 18 carries for 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert, 13 carries for 82 yards and 3 touchdowns. That Devon, and everyone grabbed him on fantasy. I have Mostert on fantasy, so I'm good.
yeah.
The thing is, they couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop nothing. Tyreek Hill 9 catches for 157 yards and a touchdown.
You know, he's going for that triple crown.
Receptions, yards, touchdowns. Who was the last one who won that? What, Jerry Rice maybe?
Shoot.
The last one,
The
the
last
last player
receiver?
to do that.
Oh, last player to do
know.
it. I had to
Well,
look
wide
it up.
receiver, receptions,
I mean,
yards, and touchdowns. Man, I would have looked that up.
Yeah,
I didn't think
that's
about
tough. That's tough to do. That's tough to do with touchdowns for wide receivers because running backs are more. You be on the 1 yard line. And running backs are more apt to get the ball right there. So
Right.
it's real tough.
It's like the 40-40 club. And Acuna with Atlanta, he got it.
You talking about the?
It's as rare as that, the 40-40 club.
Yeah, he got
40
70
home runs, 40.
Well, he had 70 stolen bases and
Mhm.
40 home runs. He's the first player to ever do that.
Right.
And 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases. I think Jimmy Rollins did it back in the day.
Yeah.
It's tough to do. Yeah, that's tough to do.
Very tough to do. Very tough. But going back to these games in NFL, Miami with the blowout, and the Bills with a blowout, 37-3 against the Commanders, who the Commanders was actually doing pretty good this season. The next game is the Bills versus Dolphins. How do you got that game?
Buffalo has a really good defense. I don't think they're gonna get blown out 70-20. It's not gonna be like that. But I have Miami winning because Josh Allen's just not been playing well, and that offense is lethal. they don't play defense like they did, like they used to back in the day. You know, where you know you had that
Right.
85 Bears, the 91 Eagles, the 2000
Ravens.
Ravens. Like they don't let people play defense like that anymore. So it's real tough. They let the receivers run free and stuff like that. So I'm going with Miami in that game. I don't think they're gonna blow them out though. I could be wrong about that.
Josh Allen, 20 for 32, 218 yards, a touchdown and interception. James Cook, 15 carries for 98 yards. Stephon Diggs, 8 catches for 111 yards, no touchdowns. Excuse me. The Bills, they're working on not all cylinders. They're working on a few cylinders. Miami's working on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
So that game is going to be epic, and we're gonna come right back with more Keep 1 Million Show and give you our picks of who we think's gonna win in Week 4. So keep it locked right here on the Keep 1 Million Show.
Okay.
Damn it.
I got
What's that?
so it said when the receiver to have won the Triple Crown if they led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns within a particular season, finishing joint first in any or all of those 3 categories is also considered sufficient. The most recent player to do the Triple Crown was Cooper Kupp in 2021.
Cooper Kupp did. He did. Now he's injured.
Yeah.
Right. Who was the players that did it? They show all the players that did it?
Oh, a list of players that did it? Hold on.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going back to the 40s and all that.
No.
I'd say all right, before Cooper Kupp, it was in 2005. Steve Smith Sr.
Okay.
Then before him, in 1992, was Sterling Sharp.
Why don't you bring this up when we come back?
Yeah.
All right. That's a dope. Some dope That's some dope stats right there.
I'll start at 1966.
Here we're gonna come back right now. Okay, we're back to Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne,
Sean Pate.
and we're just getting into some stats right now. And you just brought up some good stats when it comes to that wide receiver Triple Crown.
Yeah, I'll read this off real quick. And in the National Football League, a receiver is said to have won the Triple Crown if they lead the league in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns within a particular season, finishing joint first in any or all of those 3 categories is also considered sufficient. The term Triple Crown has been used to describe the feat at least as far back as 1990 when it was achieved by Jerry Rice. And let's go, all right. So these are the last few wide receivers that have done it. Actually, the first person I'm gonna name actually wasn't even listed as a wide receiver. Listed as a flanker. Lance Allworth, Hall of Famer.
That's for the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, San Diego Chargers.
Yeah,
And then,
great player.
And then 19.
Excellent jersey. That jersey's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I've seen people wear it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
1990, Jerry Rice,
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco 49ers. 1992, Sterling Sharp. A lot of people don't remember Sterling. Sterling before he got
I
hurt.
think Shannon.
Yeah,
was
older
the
brother.
man. Sterling was.
Yeah, matter of fact, Shannon
an
Sharp.
all-time great before he got injured.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp would tell you. He said that his older brother, Sterling Sharp, was 10 times the player that he was.
He was.
Yeah, and Sterling was that dude.
Anybody listen to our show, please go to YouTube and look up Sterling Sharp.
Yeah.
That man, he was a man amongst boys in the NFL.
Yeah.
How he played football.
2005, Steve Smith Sr. with the Carolina Panthers.
He was a dog.
Yeah, he was a
and
dog.
he'd punch you in the face.
Yeah, and he punched in the face.
Yeah.
And he was only like 5'8". He wasn't a big guy.
Oh man, he was a dog.
He was a big dude.
Seriously.
And Cooper Kupp did it Last one to do it was
Yeah,
in
that's why I
2021
remember that.
with the Rams.
And unfortunately, he's injured this season.
Mm.
I don't know what happened.
Hamstring.
Right, but it's like it keeps coming back, or somehow it's weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, hamstring injuries linger. They linger.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's doing this because he's the one to be on that team. I think he wants out.
You think
He's
wants
not.
out?
He's not gonna say it. Yeah, think about it. Think about it. He wants out. Aaron Donald is waiting to just retire. He's not gonna want out. Cooper Kupp, on the other hand, he's in his prime. He wants out.
Okay.
It's not gonna happen, but yeah, we'll see. If he gets healthy and he balls out next season, he might buy this time until his contract's up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give you some teams, and we're gonna pick some games.
Is there?
Bills, Dolphins, possibly. The game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Bills is a favorite at home, 2.5 point favorite. Who you got?
Got Miami. I don't want. I can't bet against that defense. I mean that offense. Sorry. That offense.
Yeah, I think Miami as well. Offensively, they're just on another level. I don't think any defense can stop them right now. And if they beat the Bills, they're considered the best team in the AFC.
Yeah.
Them and Kansas City is doing great. It's just the Dolphins are just that better for some reason. And if you look at the teams Kansas City are playing, I mean, they're playing scrubs right now.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a real litmus test for them. Blunder Bowl Part 1, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Bears, Broncos, both 0-3. Denver is a 3.5 point favorite. It's at Soldier Field.
I got Denver.
Like I said, I gotta go with the Bears because they need to go home. They need to get some mild sauce. They need some real home cooking. Go to the west side. Go get some Harold's chicken.
Yeah, go to the house. Get
You know what I mean?
out.
Go. I mean, you need something. You need something. Like, come on. You're the Chicago Bears. Where's the defense? Where's the? Bring Jim McMahon back. Put him.
Jimmy Mack.
Put him in the stands at least. Put him in the box. Bring him out. Run it out with the team. I mean, the Broncos came out with Lil Wayne. He's a in the Packers. I mean, the Packers came out with Lil Wayne. He's a Packers fan, but it didn't work. Yeah, it really didn't. So I shouldn't have brought that up anyway. But anyway, great AFC North game. Both 2-1. Browns, Ravens. Browns are at home. Cleveland's a 3-point favorite. Who you got?
Cleveland at home.
I like Cleveland too. Yeah. I really do.
Dog
I'm a Ravens. I like the Ravens. You know what I mean? Who they got, but Odell Beckham, he's injured. He's disappeared. Yeah. When he was there, healthy, he wasn't. I don't know if he's being doubled or. Lamar Jackson couldn't get in the ball, and he's injured.
And, he got
Browns defense
is
just
he got
nasty.
Andrews, he got Zay Flowers.
The Browns defense is nasty. They may jump around. They may come out with their all whites with the new white helmet.
Oh.
If they do that, then they're
right.
gonna win.
Okay.
Because all white is hard. I mean, the Bengals, they won last week with the all whites. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the alternate uniforms, right?
Yeah, the new uniforms and the new helmets.
The new helmets,
new helmets coming out.
Yeah.
The Eagles coming out with a new helmet.
Yeah.
They got some throwbacks. The Kelly Greens. The
Kelly Greens. Yeah, I see
the Randall Cunninghams.
Yeah. Old school joints.
Yeah. Very nice. Blunder Bowl Part 2, 2023. Panthers, Vikings, both 0-3. Minnesota, 4-point favorite. This is in North Carolina.
Yeah,
Panthers Stadium.
Yeah, I picked the Panthers. North Carolina.
I got the Vikings there. I think they can finally win. You got the best wide receiver in the game, and you can't win. Like, seriously. It's Tyreek Hill and Justin Jeffries.
Yeah.
His stats are just amazing damn near
Yeah.
Randy Moss stats. I mean, I think he has some stats that are above Randy Moss right now,
Yeah.
and they're losing.
He's a monster.
I got a question real quick. When his contract is up, because he's on a rookie deal, do you think he leaves?
You know what? NFL's not like the NBA where the team can offer you the most money, right? I don't think it's like that in the NFL, right?
Well, when you become an unrestricted free agent, yes.
Okay, all right.
Teams can offer you, I mean, the max. It's not like a super max deal or whatever. It's not allocated that way, but they can offer you the top. You know, when you're franchise, that means you have the top. You're basically allocated as a top 5 in your position, right?
Yeah. Which Jeffrey
Of course he is, but that's if you're franchise tagged, right? And they don't want to be franchise tagged because that's only for one season. They want the long-term deal. So let's say on a rookie deal, though, the thing is, the team can opt for that 5th season. Rookie deals for 4 seasons. That 5th season is an option. So I think he's on his 3rd or 4th season.
Okay.
So when that option comes about at that off season, they can say, okay, we're going to give you the 5th season, and okay, we're going to do the 5th season, and after that, then he becomes a free agent, and that's when they work on the deal during the season or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that to the second deal, the long-term deal, or after that 4th season, franchise tag them at whatever the franchise tag is for wide receivers, possibly $15 million, right? And then that next season, either he's going to be a free agent, or they could franchise tag him again, or he like, no, I want out. And that's the problem is they don't have that freedom as the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, with that. His number speaks for himself. He's a top 3 wide receiver, but they're not winning. And let's say they have a losing season, and you're a Pro Bowler. Yeah, he's gonna win out. He's definitely gonna win out, and I don't blame him at all. You know what I mean? How many games was that? 3 games right there.
Yeah, 3 games.
So, Saints, Buccaneers, both 2-1. Winner is in the lead in the NFC South. New Orleans is at home and 3.5 favorite. Who you got?
New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I got New Orleans too. Remember, David Carr's injured with the AC sprain, shoulder injury.
They're getting Kamara back too.
Kamara's coming back. Jameis Winston most likely is gonna start. He played really good after that injury. You know what I mean? Jameis Winston's a good backup.
He's solid backup.
Very solid backup. Everyone's on this Baker Mayfield bandwagon, but I don't think they can beat the Saints. They haven't beat the Saints. Even when with Tom Brady, they haven't beat the Saints. The Saints has been the better team in the NFC South. So I think the Saints gonna win at home.
Okay.
And the last game, I gotta go. Thinking. Oh, this is an interesting game. Not a Cowboys fan, but I'm going to talk about this game. Cowboys, Patriots. Cowboys are 2-1, Patriots are 1-2. Dallas is a 6.5-point favorite. But it's interesting. The Patriots have 2 ex-Cowboy players.
Ezekiel Elliott and who's on?
Forget who's the other player.
That's not that important. But
I think he's ex-defensive player.
Okay.
But they know the Cowboys plays.
Yeah.
they know, especially Ezekiel Elliott. He knows, Dak Prescott. And I think the Patriots, they possibly can sneak one. They beat the Jets. They were underdogs against the Jets. The Cowboys laid an egg against the Cardinals last week.
Yeah.
I was surprised on that one.
Yeah.
And it is most likely a Cowboys home game here, just like it was the Giants home game.
Yeah. That's how it usually is.
Because
with
Cowboys
Cardinals
fans, there's major Cowboys fans out here in
games.
Phoenix.
A lot of them.
Just like here, is a lot of Giants fans out here, a lot of transplants. They lost 28-16. The Cowboys did. Looking to bounce back against New England, the Patriots. No one really thinks the Patriots are that good, but they got coaching is major.
They got a
in
pretty
the
decent.
NFL.
They got a pretty decent defense.
Right.
So,
Coaching's major in the NFL. We know this.
Belichick's a good coach. He's a great coach. I'm sorry, great coach.
I think they have a chance. What do you think?
They playing at Foxborough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take New England and Foxborough.
Okay, let me double check that.
I would take New England and Foxborough, but I would take Dallas and Jersey.
No, they're in Dallas. They're in Dallas.
I'm gonna take Dallas and Jersey.
They're in Dallas.
I'm gonna take Dallas and Jersey.
I'm gonna go with the upset. I think it'll be a very slow game.
Oh, you
And
taking the Patriots?
I think Patriots will beat them.
Okay.
Just on that alone with Ezekiel Elliott, knowing the play calls, and the other players that used to play for Dallas.
Okay. All right.
Okay, before we go, we got to fast forward to this major news. Damian Lillard gets traded to Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah. That's crazy.
3-team trade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lillard gets traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Suns take DeAndre Ayton to Portland. Drew Holiday goes to Portland as well, and Tumani Kamara. A 2029 unprotected first-round draft pick, a unprotected Milwaukee swap rights in 2020 and 2030. And the Suns will receive a haul. They receive Yusef Nurkic from Portland, Grayson Allen from Milwaukee, Nasir Little, and Keenan Johnson.
Okay. All right.
So, because of that, the Bucks are now the favorites to win the championship.
Yeah.
We got a couple more minutes till we go to break. We're going to come back, but I want to know what are your thoughts on this massive trade here.
It's a good trade for all three teams. The Bucks, Portland Trailblazers wanted to go young. The Bucks get Dame Lillard out there. So it's Dame Lillard, Chris Middleton, and Giannis. That's their big three. Plus they re-signed Brook Lopez. They got a good squad. In Phoenix, they get Grayson Allen, who's a good shooter. They get Nurkic, who's a good solid back man. Big man. So, and then they have Bill, Booker, and KD. So we'll see, man. It might mess around and be a rematch of the finals from 2021.
And also, Drew Holiday goes to
Portland, but they're not going to keep him. They're probably going to waive him. So.
Right. He's looking to get traded again to a contender. He's a veteran, one of the top defensive point guards in the league.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons that Milwaukee was, in finals contention. These past few seasons, won a championship. They didn't get there because of injuries, Middleton and Giannis. Now the thing is, before we go to break, the Miami situation basically just fell apart because Portland knew that they didn't have to trade Damian Lillard to Miami. Dame Lillard said everything he could say to try to get himself to Miami, to the point where him and his agent, the whole league got memos saying that, hey, we're not gonna play this game where one player is gonna say what team he's gonna go to. If this player's under contract, it's up to the GM of that team to do what he can to trade that player to get the best, what they want back. And this basically gives power back to the teams. I'm going to go to break. We're going to talk about that and more on the Keep It 1 Million show. Shit. And we're back. Keep 1 Million show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And we was getting into the intricacies of this Damian Lillard trade to Milwaukee, 3-team trade. The Suns getting a haul. Portland getting some good players. Milwaukee getting Damian Lillard and draft capital. And the odd man out is Miami Heat. And if you looked at the past few months, you would think that Damian Lillard was already on the Miami Heat because of sports media. And if you look at whoever you like on sports media or whatever, don't forget, journalist integrity is out the window in sports media. When it comes to their fandom, that now is coming first. So when you have sports media who are Miami fans of Miami teams, who are from Miami, who went to schools in Miami, they're only going to talk about Miami teams, and basically they was like, all in on Damian Lillard going to Miami. And when Adrian Wojnarowski announced that, hey, this is going to take months because the Portland GM, who actually has control over this whole situation, is like, well, we're going to wait. We're not going to be rash about it. We're not going to be the Houston Rockets. We're not going to be the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to, do our due diligence and get what's best for Portland Trailblazers. Everybody was incensed about it. Like, oh my God, I can't, why was, and it's like, to me, when I seen it, I was like, well, are you actually trying to report the news or are you just being emotional? You know what I mean? And then when this happened, everyone's upset. All the Miami fans are upset. Okay, rightfully so. But what did Miami have that Portland wanted?
Nothing.
Bam Adebayo, they wasn't going to trade him.
They talked about
Obviously
Tyler
not
Hero.
Jimmy Butler. All right, Tyler Hero. No one wants Tyler Hero.
Yeah, but they were trying to do that.
Right, but nobody wants Tyler Hero. There was other teams they were talking to, and other teams was like, we don't want Tyler Hero either, so you can't do a 3 or 4 or 5 team trade. So that was out the window. And it took this long because everyone, matter of fact, last couple weeks was like, is Damian Lillard going to be on Portland come training camp? And then there was rumors that, hey, he's not going to be there to training camp. They're looking to trade him very, very soon. Look for him to be traded in the next 24, 48 hours. And I was like, okay, Miami must have did something. There must be a 3-4 team trade. I was thinking of Indiana because Buddy Hield wants out of Indiana, so maybe they made some deal there, and you know what I mean, finagle some things, move some things around. And what I said months ago happened. I said the best team possible that if Damian wants to win the championship is get traded to Milwaukee.
Bucks.
And that happened. Now I thought the Portland could get a better deal and get Middleton or Portis, but they didn't. They got Drew Holiday. Grayson Allen goes to the Suns. They're most likely going to get rid of waive Drew Holiday to get even younger, and basically their veteran players are going to be DeAndre Ayton. So, I mean, how did you see this whole thing play out, especially with the Miami situation?
Played out the best way he could. He really played out
Right.
the best way he could. I mean, nobody was like Boston. Then people talked about Boston and Jaylen Brown, but they wasn't trying to do. Jaylen Brown just signed that huge extension. And they're gonna stick with Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
I know they talked about the Sixers, but Daryl Morey did not want to give up Tyrese Maxey, and that's who Portland wanted. They wanted to give up Tyrese Maxey. They talked about what's his name, James Harden, but Portland didn't want James Harden. They want to go younger.
exactly. And if you really look at the landscape of the league itself, the top teams have their point guards. You know what I mean? Remember with Cleveland, with that whole trade, the Knicks wanted their point guard. That didn't happen, right? He came from was it not Denver but Utah?
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell, right? Remember it was
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, and at the same time, Damian Lillard was also like, oh, would the Knicks get Damian Lillard or Donovan Mitchell? And none of that happened, right?
I thought Donovan Mitchell more of a 2 guard, but
No, he's a 2, but I mean, one of the top guards. And if you look in the landscape, the guards, kind of like quarterbacks in the NFL, filled up.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Luckily, this happened because of Drew Holiday is a veteran, right? And DeAndre Ayton, they had to use the Suns to because Portland needed somebody down low. The Suns, now on the Suns side, the Suns get Nurkic, Grayson Allen, and get a couple more players, draft picks. Is this a better team now with Nurkic without Ayton?
Yeah, it's a better team now. Nurkic's not looking for a shot. He play defense, maybe hit a couple jumpers, putbacks, rebounds.
Yeah.
If he gives you 12 points a game, 14 points a game, 7 rebounds, that's a good night. That's a good night for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Block shots, defend the rim.
Block shots, defend the rim, good night for him.
Right. That really helps Kevin Durant defensively because usually he's exerting himself also defensively a lot. Kevin Durant's their best player, but he don't want to be their best defensive and offensive player, right?
You gotta say something for the other end.
Exactly. And now you have Devin Booker, the last player from the 2021 finals, which is amazing. Coming from their new ownership, they just basically cleaned house.
They cleaned house and they still kept a squad. They still got a
Right?
good
You
squad.
have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Basically the biggest, the most prolific scoring big three we have yet to see.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
We'll see.
And the thing is, right now, because of this trade, the Bucks are the number one team as far as sports betting is concerned. I think what's two? You got the Bucks, in Denver, Golden State, the Suns, the Lakers. You know, those are your top 5 teams. You know, Denver's getting a little bit disrespected because they won the championship. They did get rid of Bruce Brown because he wanted more money. If I'm Denver, I'd pay him to come off the bench, how great he was. But still, moving forward, when it comes to this upcoming season, I mean, it's championship or bust for both of those teams. For Milwaukee and for the Suns, it's championship or bust. How those teams are constructed. Yeah, we probably could see a rematch, but Denver is going to be like, hey, we're still here.
I'm not going to disrespect Denver. I have Denver winning the West. I'm just saying, Phoenix could come out of the West, though.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting that. I mean, you got Phoenix, you got Denver, you got Memphis, you have Golden State. I never want to count Golden State out, long as they got Steph Curry in.
Right.
You got some teams out there. You got the Lakers there. I don't expect the Lakers to get the championship, but you got the Lakers there. You know,
they revamped their roster as well, and they look very good. I also said I do want to see Denver versus Milwaukee, because now you have the 2 best players in the league playing against each other.
Oh yeah, and
Joker versus
Giannis, and Giannis will be guarding Joker. So
yeah,
Giannis
and Joker. Then you
what
have
is he, 2-time defensive player of the year?
Yeah, Jamal Murray versus Damian Lillard. I mean, yeah, it's you know, Portis or Middleton versus Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
I mean, man, that's like I said before. I think it's maybe one of the most boringest, you know, finals.
Well,
but it'll be the most
this.
highly skilled finals.
Stephen A. Smith would not want to go to any of those games. He's not trying to go to Milwaukee or Denver.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the reason about the sports media. They look at it as, we just want to party, so we want to go to Miami or San Francisco or LA or New York. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, the league is not like that. Because if you look at the past 5-6 years, the top champions are not those cities. Yeah, the Lakers won in 2020, but that was in the bubble. That had nothing to do with, you know, you had Golden State, and that's brand new, basically, them winning all those championships. But then you had Cleveland, Milwaukee, Denver. You know what I mean? You know, Phoenix, which was, people out here because of the weather, but still.
Denver's not a bad town. I've been to Denver. Denver's not a bad town. It's a nice town. It's a nice place to kick it. Phoenix ain't bad either. People get on Phoenix. Phoenix is great. If you know the spots to go to, you know. Right. Phoenix has everything that you're gonna like. They got the lounges.
Everybody just wants Miami and on Los Angeles or
it's the weather.
Boston,
it's the weather.
New York, and all. Yeah,
Miami,
but
it's the weather.
It's about the teams.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about the city itself. It's about the teams, about the players. Our last segment, we got to move forward.
Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez versus Charlo. Saturday. Pay-per-view was just an insane price. I'm not going to say it. You know, Jamel Charlo versus, and then his twin brother. I've looked online. His twin brother had beef with Plant, Caleb Plant, and I think it was a Devin Haney fight behind the scenes. If you look it up on social media, they actually fought behind the scenes. Some craziness. Plant hit him in the face a few times, and now Plant is saying, "Hey, I want to fight. Let's get in the ring for a belt. Let's rumble." That's exactly what he said. You had an interesting thought about that before the show, that they have the Charlo brothers are kind of, they got some issues.
They just have this bravado about them, and it's how can I put it? It's just you can't say anything about me. But I mean, of course, nobody wants anything bad to be said about them. But they take everything out of context. You know, you'll say, oh yeah, he's a real good fighter, but such and such is a better boxer. What? You said da da da. It's like Clarissa Shields too. She's like that. If you say, a lot of these kids in this generation are like that. If you say, all right, for example, Clarissa Shields, you say, Amanda Nunes is pound for pound the best puncher out there. She got mad that somebody said that. They're like, how you gonna say that? I'm the best puncher, and Amanda Nunes, blah. That's like, you're just like, no, nobody said anything bad about you. The same thing with the Charlotte boys. They, you can't say anything that they deem as disrespect, and a lot of times it's not even disrespect. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
you know,
and it seems like, you know, Plant wants to make this fight happen.
Yeah,
Who knows
we'll
if it'll happen?
we'll see.
But Saturday,
Yeah, his brother-
Charlo has a chance to be, you know, two-time undisputed champion.
Yeah. My thing about it is he's coming up in weight. He came from 154. He skipped over 160 and went right to 168. He's taller than Canelo. I didn't know Canelo was this short. Canelo's 5'8". Charlo, I believe, is 6 foot, 6'1", something like that. I believe he's like something around there. He's taller than Canelo. But he's a broad, big guy, and he's strong. You know, so we'll see. I'm not gonna count Charlo. I do have Canelo winning a split decision, but I'm not counting Charlo. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlo won a split decision or something like that. It just wouldn't surprise me because believe it or not, the Charlo boys, I give them all the props in the world. They're some bad boys.
Yeah.
So you know, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Now, if either or wins, there's a possibility of a Crawford fight. If Crawford wins his rematch against Spence, which he is most likely the favorite, how he beat the brakes off of Spence. What's the biggest fight? Would it be Crawford versus Alvarez or Crawford versus Charlo? Knowing that you have, if it's Crawford versus Charlo, you have two undisputed champions at 2 or 3 different weight classes. Like, they basically can hold 5 weight classes together and put those up for like some kind of crazy super duper, you know, undisputed champion. Or you have Crawford versus Canelo on some crazy legacy, you know, who's right under Floyd Mayweather. Because remember, you know, after Canelo loses to Mayweather, he goes on this massive streak.
Yeah.
And he's like the undisputed pound for pound champion until just recently.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best fight if those two fights are available?
Crawford, Charlo, because that's the weight class that they can meet at that weight. I don't really want to see a Crawford Canelo fight. I mean, that's just.
I think Crawford would destroy Canelo.
I mean, he's going
personally
from 147 to
168. Right.
Come on now.
Right.
Because
he talked about that he can move up and all that stuff. Because everyone's really debating who's the best pound for pound. Canelo Alvarez is like, well, I'm the best. You know, I ain't going nowhere. Yeah. You know, he did lose the ball, but he's still saying he's the best. They think he slipped up. But yeah, the possible Charlo Crawford fight, that could be a wild, undisputed fight. But we got to go. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks everybody for watching on YouTube, on Instagram. Please subscribe. The Keep 1 Million Show. We're here every Thursday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Production of KRDP and Desert Soul Media. For Dwayne,
Sean P.
Sean, thanks everybody for watching and listening. Please keep locked right here. Next week, we'll be back. And we're out.
KRDP is provided by Mesa Art Center, presenting Snarky Puppy. on September 27th. Described by Stereo Gum as jazz with funk, progressive rock, and rhythms. And